All right. Welcome back to Create Escape Vinyl. Today we're going to go over, and that's. There we go. How about that? Welcome back to Create. This is a live stream. Welcome back to Create Escape Vinyl. Today we're going to go over Puscifer, V is for Viagra, the Vagina mixes, which is technically what this is called. Today I'm going to go over all of or what I know from what I've looked up, the collaborators that have worked on this. I will, if I know exactly some of the people, I don't know if that's really relevant, but some of the people that worked on this worked on the original songs, like the actual song before it was remixed. So I don't know if that's 100% relevant to this, but some of them are kind of interesting to, but there's only a couple that are kind of interesting to show who all works on this stuff. Like, there's a lot of people that actually have to do with a lot of these songs on these albums that most people wouldn't even know, wouldn't realize at all, because it's all in the background. So kind of go over some of that stuff, because I feel like if I'm going to go over who worked on the actual album, I'll just do that whenever I decide to move into the actual albums. Because again, for the most part, the later albums, it's just Karina, Maynard, and Matt Mitchell. So there's not as much to say about a lot of those songs. So it's going to be kind of redundant just going through, oh, well, this is just basically Puscifer doing this, which is those three people. But like I said, we'll get started on this so it's not an extremely long video. I already tried to make a video on this the other day, which is probably still showing up. I deleted the video because I wanted to redo it, because that video was an hour and 30 minutes long or more. Just because I found myself getting into all these songs and then starting to go through and then running into rabbit holes, just because, again, if you don't know who's working on this stuff and what they've done in the past and things like that, you kind of just look at these songs as just, oh, well, whatever. It's just Puscifer remixing a song, and it's kind of is, but a lot of isn't. So on these remix albums, I did want to state before I go into completely all of this that in the beginning, when Maynard came out with the band, he did an interview that said, or he said, basically what he would like to have done, or what he wanted to do, what his vision was to put out an album called V is for Vagina, but put it out in 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever amounts of ways, meaning there wouldn't be these remix albums. It wouldn't be a need to have an album and then a remix album. It would just be the album, but put out the exact same cover, the exact same name, exact same everything. But it would be, one might be the regular version, but you wouldn't know what the regular version was, because there would be 4 versions of it, but it would be the exact same cover. That didn't happen. So he put out the original albums, and then he would always follow it up with a remix album roughly a year later. But if you look at the years, typically it's kind of, some of them are like within the same year, some of them are a year later, some of them are 2 years later. It kind of just depends. But that was the original thought. That's what he wanted to do. Again, it didn't happen. that way with any of them. So we will get into this. The total length of this album is 61 minutes and 15 seconds long. There are 13 tracks on this album. As far as I'm aware, there's no hidden track on this album. I've never found anything on this or on Spotify or on the CD version of it. But going into the first song, Indigo Children, it is called the JLE dub mix, which is Josh Eustace. So Josh Eustace worked on this with Puscifer. So basically, the way that I take that as that works is Puscifer has the song. Puscifer is obviously involved in the remix, but they basically take that song, give it to Josh or said person, and they then do what they want to with it. Obviously, I'm sure that goes down to sending back and forth, saying yes or no, or moving things around or whatever. Maybe it doesn't. But in my mind, I assume that works that way to some degree. So Indigo Children, JLE dub mix, Josh Eustace. Josh Eustace has worked with Nine Inch Nails, and he has his own band called The Black Queen. That song is 5 minutes and 24 seconds long. And, just to kind of go over, I don't know if I'll do this on every single one of them, but Indigo Children, I like the original one. I love the original one. I do like this version. Again, I don't know if I like it more than the original, but it is a great version of it. Meaning, had he put those albums out the way that he had put them out, and I heard this one first, and then bought another album, and it ended up being the quote unquote original version, would I have liked this one more? Maybe. And I almost kind of think that for all these songs. So that's the greatness about this, is that if you didn't know that the other one even existed, there's a chance you would like this one better had you heard the other one later. So there's that. Next song, moving on, is Trekka. Trekka on this album is the Desert Porn mix done by Lustmord. And Lustmord is a Welsh musician, song designer, and film score composer. So all of his stuff is pretty dark, and he does another song on here later on, and they're no exception. Like, the sounds that you hear are dark and also just constantly leaving you with like this feeling of I don't know, like it's leading you in a direction, but it's not ever closing. It's kind of constantly suspenseful, I guess. It's very weird, and I like it a lot, to be honest. So all the mixes I've ever heard by Lustmord, I do like a lot. Now, he did do another album. He did the full album, and it was D is for Dubby, which are all the songs from this, but in like a dub reggae, dub step, dub style. And I do like that one a lot. I don't know if I will be able to find that on vinyl. I've looked for it. I can't find it yet, so I'm going to keep trying. Not going to give up, but I don't know if I'll be able to get. I don't even know if it's on vinyl, but I've looked. So if I can find it, I will get it. It'll all be his stuff, but I will at least be able to kind of just, go over it and say what I think about it. But that's a great song. That song is 6 minutes and 39 seconds long. I'm not sure how long the original song is, but I know for a fact that this is longer than the original song. Moving on to the next song. Let me pull this down real fast just to see that I didn't miss anything. No. Because not everything that's on this is what I'm talking about. Now, the first two definitely are, but it doesn't tell you who they are, what they did, what they've worked with. You know, maybe kind of give you a little bit more insight on why they're working on this album and why you should even care about them. Maybe you don't care about the people that they worked for before, but just saying, like, you know, it kind of says just the person's name, but it doesn't give you any other reason to know who that person is and why you should think like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't realize that guy worked with Nine Inch Nails. So Lustmord has obviously done things for a lot of people, but he's not kind of, there's not a lot about him, which I believe is his, just dark ambient, things like that. I feel like that's where he wants it to be, and I'm completely fine with that. And I like all of the stuff that he's ever put out that I've heard by Puscifer, or just listening to some of his stuff in general. So I would definitely check him out just to see kind of what I'm talking about with those sounds and whatnot. Next song is Mama Said, the Tandemonium mix, the Dave Rave Ogilvy and Colin Jans. Dave Ogilvy is Skinny Puppy, or worked with Skinny Puppy. And then Colin Jans, I believe, has worked and mixing with Marilyn Manson on the Antichrist Superstar album. I do like this version of the song. I do not like it as much as the original one, but I do like it a lot. There's just something to the original version of that song that's so, there's not much to it, but there's a lot to it if you listen to it. So I like the fact that there's not a lot to it in the original version. If you listen to this one, there's a lot more to it. It's, again, remixed by someone, and it puts a lot more sound into it. It puts a lot more into it, like a lot more. And shit, I need to move this to tell you how long this song is, and that is the only one I have to do. 4 minutes and 42 seconds long. There's not much else to say about that one, other than I do like the original version, I believe, more than the remix version. The next song on the list, song 4, is Sour Grapes. Sour Grapes, the Late for Dinner mix, is by Danny Lohner, which is known for being the guitar player of Nine Inch Nails. And he's definitely done other things. He's worked with Puscifer, obviously he's worked with Puscifer, but I believe, I don't believe he's just a guitar player, meaning he is a guitar player, but he does a whole lot of other stuff. And I'm sure that if you looked out to different Puscifer songs, different bands, you would find Daniel Lohner might have had something to do with it, is what I mean by that. Meaning he may not be right out there in the forefront, but he's had something to do with it, helping with mixing, helping with engineering, helping with something, even if it's just even smaller than that, just a phone call or something like that. But he's had a lot to do with a lot of things, for sure. So Nine Inch Nails, guitar player. And I know he's also worked on other parts of Nine Inch Nails. He's not just the guitar player. And also, he was part of that Tapeworm band that I told you about that was Maynard, Danny Lohner, Atticus Ross, and Trent Reznor, and maybe a few others that again flew through there with like Marilyn Manson. I feel like there's a song that had him in it. Excuse me, but maybe not. But I feel like I saw that once. And that song is 4 minutes and 7 seconds long. That song I liked just about as good as the original one, if not maybe just a little bit more. Maybe. Next song on the list is song 5, Country Boner, spelled Cuntry. Dirty Robot Mix. That is by Matt Mitchell, which is like I said, the dude in Puscifer that does a ton of the stuff, as well as Troy Van Leeuwen from Queens of the Stone Age. He's a guitar player for Queens of the Stone Age. And that song is 3 minutes and 58 seconds long. That song is just to me, that song is just a very funny song. It's just like a laugh track song. I don't know how you would call that. Like, it's just chaos. It's just funny. It's not like some of these other songs. It's just really funny. It's just a funny song. Now, the one thing I did want to say about that song is Tom Morello and Tim Comerford, I might be wrong on that. Brad Wilk, again, it's Rage Against the Machine members, worked on that song as well, the original song. So not particularly this remix of this song, that was Matt Mitchell and Troy Van Leeuwen, but on the original song, that's why I was saying some of these things might be a little interesting. They worked on that song originally. But again, just a funny, crazy, wacky song. But it's great. Next song is song 6, Drunk with Power, Hungover and Hostile in Hanover mix. This has Joey Jordison from Slipknot. There is someone else in this remix of this song. I cannot find who it is. Maybe it is just I don't believe it is. It's not Maynard. I don't know who it is, but there is a person in the end of this song rapping, and I can't find who it is. And I guess I'm almost assuming that Joey Jordison has to do with the drumming in this song, because obviously it's different. It's a remix, but there's also like almost as if there's a live track of drumming going on while it's going on. So I feel like Joey Jordison did the drumming. I cannot find who is rapping in it at the end. So Maynard sings his parts and does all of his stuff, but then, and again, it's remixed, so it's all chopped up, it's all, crazy and whatnot. But at the end, there is a full section that is rapped by someone, and I can't find out who that person is. If I ever do find out who that person is, I will throw it in another video later. But as far as knowing who it is right now, I can't find out who it is. I don't know. And it doesn't say on here. It doesn't say anywhere who it is. Only thing it says is Joey Jordison working on this song. So great song. I do think that I like this song better than the original one. Again, if we're going by original or remix, only because of the live style of drumming that it has going on with it, as well as it's more of a song that kind of needs a rapper going on with it, I guess, to a degree. Just because of the way that the song is constructed to begin with, the way Maynard sings it, the way everything is going on. So I do like that part at the end. So yeah, Drunk with Power. The song is 6 minutes and 22 seconds long. I'm very sorry if I did not say how long Country Boner was. That song is 3 minutes and 58 seconds long. I don't believe I did. Moving on to the next one, number 7, Vagina Mine, the Deflowering Mix. This song is worked on by Paul Baker of Ministry. He plays bass for Ministry. He's a producer and an engineer as well. This song I take like two different songs. I love and like the original one, and I like and love this one, if that makes any sense. Like, I like this one less, but still like it a lot. But again, it's almost, again, like two completely different things, even though it's the same exact song when it comes down to it. But it's been mixed completely, or I guess mixed differently. It's got different, it flows differently. Everything about it is completely different. Now, if you know the original song and then you hear this one or any of the other ones, for the most part, you can tell, yes, that is that song. But if you didn't know anything about either one of them, and you didn't know the lyrics to any of the songs, you didn't know the way that it progresses and whatnot, and you heard both of them separately, you might need like some time with it to realize that it is that song. Unless you have a really good ear and you can just pick that up, but which you can, because again, for the most part, the original song is somewhat in there. It's just, again, completely different. So it's hard for just your normal average person to just hear this and then hear the original and realize that they're the exact same song. But I do like the crap out of this song. So going back to that live album that I told you guys on the last video that I had an album of, the one that was in Prescott, Arizona, and I said I went to the same show. I did listen to that. It is the Deflowering Mix, so it seems like that's the mix that they sang throughout. Now, they did come back to Fort Worth like a month later, and they did not play that song. So, but they didn't play it at all. They didn't play the regular version or this version, none of the versions. And that song is 5 minutes and 11 seconds long. Next song is another version of song 2, Trekka, song 8, The Great Unwashed Mix. This is by Aaron Turner, which is the guitarist and vocalist of ISIS and a band called Sumac. I have seen Sumac. I've never seen ISIS live. When I saw Sumac, I had no idea that he was involved in ISIS. I knew about the two bands, but had no idea that the guy heading them was basically the same guy. So I like both bands. I like Sumac a little bit better. I guess it's because a little sludgier, I guess. I don't know how to explain that. But I do like both of those bands. He's the guitar player vocalist for ISIS and Sumac. That song is 7 minutes and 21 seconds long. The first one was the one by Lustmord, 6 minutes and 39 seconds long, so it's a little bit longer. And moving on, song 9, Queen Bee. This is Glitched and Bent Mix by Richard Devine. He's an electronic artist, sound designer, and glitch. um, glitch music producer, I guess. I've never heard of glitch music. I get in maybe in that way, because when I listen to it, I know what it is. I just haven't ever heard it called that. So this song is 5 minutes and 5 seconds long. Yes. And I do like this version of the song. Again, I feel like this song is just kind of opening you up, because on the original album, I mean, I feel like this song is just basically opening you up to who the mascot, if you will, of Puscifer is. I mean, what is it? But I would say I like this one better because it has more to it. But that's it. If I was only, I don't mean to use the word stuck with the first one, but if I never heard this version, I'd still be fine with the first one. But, you know, it's one of those songs that puts the original Puscifer album like in a different category than anything that you'd be used to hearing Maynard do. I don't think it's way out there, but it's out there for if you're used to just listening to the things that he's done before this, which is weird to say, because technically, if you go back on how far this concept or this vision has been, it's been a long time ago. So he's always had this thing going on in his head that he wanted to do, and kind of probably messing around with it with other people and whatnot, but it just never came out. So I guess what I mean there is that from the time that he started his Tool project, then moved to A Perfect Circle, and then Puscifer, once that came out in like 2007, 2008, somewhere in there, when people actually could hear it and knew about it. I know that album came out in 2009, but like I said, I'm very certain that all of those songs were being worked on in the 7-8 range, maybe even sooner than that, to be released in 2009. So, yeah, it's just different. And again, that song's 5 minutes and 5 seconds long. So next song 10, is Dozo. That is the Guns for Hire mix. Again, this is Lustmord. That song is 5 minutes and 1 second long. I don't like this one better than the first one, and I don't like it less than the first one. I like them basically the same. So the first one is what it is. The second one, the remix, is somewhat the same, but has that dark, again, just suspenseful movement to it that I like a lot. But I would not like it if the original one didn't exist and only this one existed, because again, I do like the original version. I do like that one a lot. So with that being said, I mean, this is just another example of why owning the one album, the original, and then not owning this one, like, you're missing out on a ton. So I guess I'm proving my point with why I'm kind of doing this, is because, again, it's not the same at all. Like, it is like this much the same, all of these, but for the most part, it's like this much different. I think I've already done that in another video, but still, it is the case. The next song is Queen Bee again. The Narcovis mix radio edit. Michael Patterson, producer and mixer. He's worked with, the two people's names that I have here are so far apart, it's not even funny. Duran Duran and the Notorious B.I.G. This song is 3 minutes and 8 seconds long, so 2 minutes and 3 seconds shorter than the other remix of that song on this album, which was 2 songs ago. And again, mixer, producer, Duran Duran and Notorious B.I.G. 3 minutes and 8 seconds long. The next song is not a song at all. It is a PSA, and then the title is PSA LOL. It's 22 seconds long. It's just a funny little skit with Maynard and or Sergeant Duche. I don't know if it's technically Sergeant Duche, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a voiceover PSA. I feel like now that I'm saying that, I don't think it's his actual voice or his mannerisms. So we'll just call it a PSA completely without adding a name to it. And also there is no name that who did anything on it. So, and the last song on the album is Country Boner again, but it is the Disco Viagra mix by Sean Bevan, which is a producer and audio engineer who has worked with System of a Down, Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, and Slayer. And I'm sure others, just as all of these people, I'm sure have worked with others as well. And also is, I was trying to find out a little bit more information on it, but it's a group or a thing called 8mm, which is what it's listed as on here, not Sean Bevan, but Sean Bevan is part of that group, 8mm. So that song is 3 minutes and 51 seconds long, so just a little bit longer than let me see, 7 seconds shorter, because this is Country Boner. But it's the Disco Viagra mix. And just like the other ones, the two other versions, the Dirty Robot mix, the original version, and then this Disco Viagra mix, it's just, again, a funny song, and it's kind of disco-y or whatever you want to call it, mixed up, dude. And so with all of that, it's 61 minutes and 15 seconds long. Overall, I like these albums completely differently, meaning I can't say that I like them just the same. I can't say that I like one less than the other. I can't say that one of them blows the other one away. I can't say any of that. All I can say is that the original album and this album is a completely different album with the exact same songs on it. So what I mean by that is that if you get that album, the original, that V is for Vagina album, and then you get this, if you're only listening to the music portion of it or the composition of it as it's done on here, you could listen to the first album all the way through and then immediately put this one on and listen to it all the way through. And I just don't believe you would get tired of it. Again, all of this is saying that you like the style of music that this is. And as long as you can say that you do, which I do, then I would say that there's no possibility that you're going to get like fatigued with the songs because you just heard all those songs, because again, they are completely different. So, you know, for me, like a 8 out of 10 on this one and an 8 out of 10 on the other one. When it comes to like what I feel, I mean, just the group for me is an 8 out of 10 on both, on these two albums. Now, that doesn't say the same thing for the other ones. And again, that's just this band. I am kind of positioning that with like how I feel about his other projects to a degree. But if I just put it on this project, I would say 8 of 10 and 8 of 10. So That is V is for Viagra, the mixes, or sorry, the remixes, the vagina mixes, is as you will. Um, and yeah, I recommend checking it out. I definitely recommend checking out the original. And let me know in the comments what you think of both albums. I'm going to go basically in the order that these came out. So I would ask you to tell me what you want to hear next. But on these videos, on the Puscifer album videos, I'm going to kind of just basically go through how they came out. So with that said, that puts to bed the first one, the first remix album. And just a quick note, I did receive an album the other day. I don't believe I showed it yet. Maybe I did. I don't know if I did or not, but I finally received this. I think I already did. If I did, I'm sorry, but I finally got this thing. Again, this is the exact same version of the other one that I have, but I will be going over this one as it comes, which is this one is the third one, so it'll be 2 from now, obviously. And then I do have some others that I've received in the mail since. One I received in the mail. The other one I just got the other day at a show. So I did just see them. Very awesome show. It's Maynard's 60th birthday show. And it was with Puscifer, A Perfect Circle, and Primus. Very awesome. So I will show some of that stuff later on, because again, this is just for that album. So until next time, again, this has been Crate Escape Vinyl. The next one will be the Conditions of My Parole remix album, all remixed up. And until then, which is typically a week, I try to get all of these done within a week, meaning I'm going to have this video, then within a week I'll have another video, and I've been trying to keep that going as much as possible. I had it when I did this video originally on the 11th, but again, I didn't like it. It was way too long. It was just, I didn't like it. Too many rabbit holes that I went down going through all of this. So until next time, subscribe to the channel, comment whatever you would like on any of the videos. I'm not saying that on this video I only want comments about this or whatever. Comment whatever you want. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, do all that stuff. And until next time, peace.